Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to another movie review. And we're going to say, Happy 4th of July, And for this year's 4th of July review, decided to, I was originally going to plan this at the end of June, though, but since, it's close to July 4th, so I figured why not to review it, And of course, for this film, a lot of people, will use it. It's probably only because how the way the film is, how the way it goes, But I'm reviewing anyway for this year's 4th of July. Is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie. Came out in the summer, like June 30th, 1995. I was gonna review it on that day though, but since the 4th of July is in a few days away, so I want to review it for this year's 4th of July. So it was close by the same day, And it came out 15 years ago. Can't believe it, And now, of course, with the show, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the show. Now, growing up watching it, I really did enjoy it growing up watching it, But I know how I know now, how this mostly, it's all Japanese stock footage and during the Zord fight scenes and stuff like that, But I understand that, But of course, back in growing up, I did not know that, because I didn't know about that stuff back then, But why I know now, because I know better now, So, and then the film came out, they made a film. This film was released before the third season of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. This came out in June, and the second season ended in late May, and then the start of the third season premiered in September of the same year, 1995. So this was released in between, and you could say this is like the third season because of how the way, the Ninja Zords and the Ninja stuff, But now, when I saw this I enjoyed the show growing up, when I saw this film, growing up as well, I did own the old VHS tape, as well, And of course I liked it growing up, because, I was a fan of the show, I was a fan of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and I still do, I watch, it's just that I grew up watching, And do I like the show today and the film today, I do, but I do, no, it's campiness, that's what I put. I don't want to use the word cheesy, but campiness is how I like to use. It's campy, just because it's solely made for a kids film. It's a kids film that's made for kids, and that's why when the film came out, it got mixed reviews because it was aimed more it was aimed for a young audience, for kids, And of course, I'm like, no kid, of course it's obviously made for kids. You think adults are gonna like this, So, I know obviously made for kids, because it's a kids show, They want to, And has a 50% on Rotten Tomatoes and has a 5.0 on IMDb. So it's like this film is like literally like even, half, deliberately mixed. 5.0 on IMDb, 50% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's literally, negative or positive reviews for this film. And it's directed, for the film is directed by a guy named Bryan Spicer. He's directed only a few films, episodes of TV shows. Like stuff like episodes of from shows like Castle, Prison Break, CSI, Heroes, House, and that stuff. But he's only directed 3 films. This film was his first film that came out in 1995, and then he directed 2 films that came out in 1997. For Richer or Poor, it's a comedy starring Tim Allen, and that film flopped, and which I haven't seen, but that film was a flop though. And then McHale's Navy, which was based on the TV show that starred Ernest Borgnine, and that film critics hated it, and that film was a flop also, So those 2 films flopped, but this film was a success at the box office. So this was the only film that was a hit from this director, you know, Brian Spicer, and it came out on the during the summer, you know, of that's what it's supposed to be for, during the summer, you know, and it opened up at number 4, of course, because it came out, you know, during the time when Apollo 13 was number 1, you know, and on the weekend, and number 2 was Pocahontas, and number 3 was Batman Forever, you know. So it came out at a time where those three other films were big hits, you know, and so it came out number 4, but on a budget of 15 million, and an overall, well, it made 38 million in the United States. So it was a success, but on overall it made 66 million. So it was a box office success overall. So the film probably the kids wanted to see a live action movie from the TV show. So it paid off overall at the end, you know. So the film was a box office success. 66 million worldwide and a budget of 15 million. So it was a success, a success, you know. And of course, like I said, it was given mixed reviews, you know, but most of they were negative though. But you know, like Roger Ebert didn't like the film though, and that's understandable, you know. Now, of course, the film does have problems as well, though. Like, of course, when back growing up, I didn't see the film having problems because I was just too busy enjoying it, though. But I do see the problems now, you know. But I still like the film, though. I like the film as a nod to, because, you know, I grew up watching it, you know, and you know. So, of course, the cast comes back. Well, not the 3 cast members from season 1, you know. What are the people's names? Played, you know, Jason, and Trini, you know, and Walter Jones, who played Zach. You know, those 3 characters, they don't come back. It's only the ones from the TV from season 2 and season 3. You know, Karan, Ashley as Aisha. What was it? Johnny Yong, Bosch as Adam, and Steve Cardenas as Rocky, and they're the ones that come back from season 2 season 3. They're the ones that are in this film, you know. Although I wish the other 3 Rangers from season 1 would have came back, you know, and would have been in this film though. But I'm not the But the three ones from here are playing Rocky, Aisha, and Adam. You know, they were okay. You know, they were decent. You know, but I still prefer the first 3 original ones better though. But still, they were all right. You know, I would give credit, at least they were decent enough. You know, and I actually where I go to, you know, I have these toy shows, you know, that sells all toys and newer toys, you know, but then of course they have some celebrity autographs, you know, and I actually have met Steve Cardenas, Rocky, and I actually have met Walter Jones, who played Zach. You know, I've met 2 of them, and I got their autographs and I got their pictures, you know, got my pictures taken with them, and which I'll show you right here. For those what's behind me, that's my folder of autographs, you know. This one I got from taking with Walter Jones, you know. I picked this one because, you know, because it has all, well, except for the woman with girl who played Trini and the Yellow Ranger. She's not in this picture, but I got most of the original cast members, you know. So got his autograph, and the one I also got Steve Cardenas autograph as well. Got to pick this one because it's from the movie, you know. So yeah, so these are good autographs, you know. It's cool. I met 2 of the Power Rangers, you know, and I will show you my pictures taken, which I'll show you right now, of my 2 pictures with Steve Cardenas and Walter Jones. So check this out for a few seconds. So now you've seen those now, but I'm already, since I I'll show you all that first. Now I'm gonna get to the story. Of course, of course one of the things that of course that was not needed was they have an opening a rolling credits, showing about the tale of Zordon, etc. Told by one of the characters in the film, which I'll get to later, and which means that part could be cut out, immediately. I just know there was no need to have an explanation for that, but and of course it shows the title, explosion, and probably a lot of people think it was probably a silly opening is that we shows the Rangers going skydiving, It's probably a silly thing that probably a lot of people have said that before though, but oh well. I didn't think about it back then though, but I look at it now, yeah, I probably do agree with some people though, but still I can let that go, Like I said, this what this film is campy, And of course it shows also returning also Paul Schrier and Jason Narvy as Bulk and Skull. They come back as well, but they're only in it for a little bit. You only see them when they're skydiving, and then you see them more towards the end of the film. So they're only in just for a little bit, But still, it's nice to see them come back. I always thought they were funny in the show, growing up, So then, they do this. They do their skydiving thing, and then it shows them rollerblading, and then they get call from Zordon, and saying that the world is in danger, because in the construction site where Bulk and Skull landed, the construction workers uncovered this chamber, and up rises is a big egg, contains our villain played by Ivan News, who was played by Paul Freeman. Paul Freeman, probably a lot of people knows him that he was the main bad guy in Steven Spielberg's the first Indiana Jones film, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Probably recognize him for that. So the main villain in Raiders of the Lost Ark is playing Ivan News. And of course, he also had a role in Hot Fuzz, where he was the Reverend. He's like, oh, fuck off, grasshopper, and shoots Simon Pegg, and Nick Frost shoots him. He's like, no. He's like, oh, Jesus Christ, That's Paul Freeman as well, So he had a role in Hot Fuzz as the priest, So they tell him that Ivan News is he was locked away. Zordon locked him away 6,000 years ago, by an old band of Rangers, So they have to go over there and stop him, So at the construction site, Lord Zed, Rita, and Goldar, and this other guy is with them, Mordant, who is a character who doesn't appear in either of the 3 seasons, and so he only appears only for the movie. And to me personally, I did not care for him at all. He was a completely pointless character. I never cared for him back then. And I never did, and I don't care about him in this film now. He was a pointless character that could have been just cut from the film. It was better if they just put Squaw and Babu that they were in there from all the other seasons. From the first 3 seasons. I don't know why they could have get them in there to get this pointless character, which I never cared about anyway. But anyway, they Lord Zed, cracks the egg. Ivan News comes out. So they want him to destroy Zordon, which he knows because he put him away. So they leave, and the kids, the Rangers, Tommy, Kimberly, Billy, Rocky, Aisha, and Adam, they get there. They meet Ivan, and then he creates all these other miniature Ivan Newses. It's like, well, meet my kids, and he gets away, and they fight. Of course, you get the thing. It always happens before the show, Like in the show, before they morph, sometimes they have a fight when they're not morphed, and when they do morph, Then they have a fight, and they fight for a little bit. They can't beat them, so they morph, And then it's when they get to the fight. They fight during inside this abandoned building, And when they fight, they have these when they get thrown. When they get thrown, when they hit a wall, the guys, they just burst into gushes of purple ooze, At least sometimes I get credit on things, because when I do agree. Gotta calm down. Talking too fast. At least it's practical when they splatter against the wall. You know, it's real goo. You know, instead of CG. You know, which is another problem later on though, but which I'll get to though. At least it was practical when they hit the wall. They splatter into ooze or goo, whatever. You know. So they fight all. You know, and they have little gadgets. You know, like Billy had this thing to grappling hook, or Kimberly had this thing to like a whip, you know, or Rocky or Aisha, they had the two other helmets. They have like a scope and it has lights, you know. I have to think it was kind of like a pointless thing. So they're just random things they just had, you know, which they never had in the show, you know, just random stuff they just had, you know. So they defeat all. They squished all the. You know. Tommy used his sword, you know, Saba, to cut this thing, and this thing drops all on the rest of them, you know. And then they lose their powers because Ivan Ooze is in their command center, you know, and destroyed all the stuff, including Zordon, which is the stuff like you know, it's like, you haven't changed, Ooze. You're already picking on creatures smaller than yourself. It's like, put a sock in it, see. 10 minutes out of the egg, and I'm already listening to one of your lectures. You dumped me into that chamber, threw me away like yesterday's trash. As I was saying, that Ivan Ooze came back when destroyed the command center. Like, oh, the things that I have missed: the Black Plague, the Spanish Inquisition, the Brady Bunch reunion. You know, I thought actually that was the thing that Paul Freeman added himself. He added himself, you know, the dialogue, the Brady Bunch reunion, you know, which I thought was kind of funny still, you know. I laughed at that back then. I still did laugh at it now, you know. So they lose the power, and they get back to the command center, and they tell that he has no way to save Zordon because he's dying. They have to go to this planet called Phaedos, I think it was called, to get this thing called the Great Power, you know. So they get there, you know, and they're on their way walking, you know. And while at that, Ivan Ooze trapped Zed and Rita in the snow globe, you know. And because he's taken over as leader, you know. So he has a plan to kidnap the parents of Angel Grove to help him dig up these machines that he had all those years ago, you know, near where we was found, you know. Using this ooze, you know, that hypnotizes them, you know, to do their work, do his work for him, you know. So, and when they get there, they fight them. He creates them, you know, those crow-like creatures that appeared in season 3, you know. They were created for a different, I forget what, they were created in a different way in season 3, but here Ivan Ooze spits out this goo and they'll transform. Now let's get to the CG, how when he versus Apollo goo, then how he regenerates into his human form, you know. Even same thing with those crow creatures, you know, I forget what they're called, Tango Warriors, I think they were called. How they, you know, go into green, they transfer their goo, and before they get into human shape. The CG has a problem. Even from 1995, some of the CG was very cheap looking, you know, something I would see on sci-fi, you know, or some of the bad CG of today, though. But still, that was 1995, you know, but I could tell that was bad CG, though, but back then I didn't nitpick on it, you know. I can see it now, but I can let it go, you know. But I do see that's one of the problems is the CG, you know. So they fly there. They fight with the Rangers, though, but they're too strong for them. Then this woman named Dulcia, who's the master warrior, she fights them for twirling these sticks, like has like a loud whistling sound, you know, that they can't stand, you know. They tell them who they are, you know, so she agrees to help them to save Zordon, stop Ivan Ooze. She makes them. This is the different way how they were made to the Ninja Warriors, and then for season 3, she blows some dust, you know, and they have the ninja outfits, you know. So she transforms into this owl for some reason, and just flies away. So they journey to the jungle. They get a fight with this dinosaur skeleton, which I thought it wasn't CGI. As another thing I get credit to, it wasn't CG. It was all practical, you know, animatronics, you know. I would say that's a well done animatronic, you know, which I don't know why, you know, they used some poorly CG in this film, while they can do a big animatronic dinosaur skeleton, you know. So anyway, as they journey along, they get to the temple. They fight with these rock warriors, you know, which is real people in suits, not CG images, you know. And they fight, you know, even though the fights they're campy, you know. Well, I can't use the word, but that's the best way I can describe this film is campy. The fights, even the lines are campy as well, you know, like, these guys are made out of rock, or these guys are strong, you know. So, yeah. The whole thing, that's what the purpose of the whole film is. It's campy fun, technically, you know. The fights, the dialogue campy, you know. So they destroy all the rock creatures, this big pyramid with the symbols of the animals, the sacred animals, you know. They get their powers back, you know, which is... This is the Ninja Zords, you know, from season 3, you know, the Ninja Zords. So they get back to this Angel Grove. The city's already been in its ruins, his avenues' robots or weapons, you know. The CGI, you know, it's not the best at all, though. When you look at it, you know, I could say it's kind of laughable, you know. I could definitely see why, you know, why this film gets so. That's another thing. When the negative, once it was given mixed reviews, the negative side is when they criticized was the visual effects, you know, which I could definitely see why. Because when you look at those creatures that are destroying Angel Grove, you can tell that those are poorly CG. Even when they summon their Zords, you know, the Ninja Zords, which I would still prefer the suits even all 3 of the seasons, you know. They all used, it was real suits, you know, not CG, you know. The CG, that's another I criticize, you know, is the CG in this is piss poor, you know. It's very piss poor. Even though the look of the Zords, you know, even when they transform, you know, it's... I don't know why, for a $15 million budget, even for a $15 million budget, you know, the CGI is very cheap looking. That's one of the biggest negatives, the biggest problems I have with the film. The CGI is very cheap looking. Yeah, it's $15 million for the budget, you know, but the CGI is very cheap looking, you know. The CGI in Godzilla looks better, you know. The poster that you see when I do my other reviews, see from the background. The CG on Godzilla from 1998 is much better looking than this, you know. Or even the CG in Deep Rising, the look of the monsters, it looks better than that, you know. Man, that Godzilla was a $130 million budget film. Deep Rising was a $45 million budget film. Yeah, that's another example. Deep Rising, you know, that's a $45 million budget film, and the creature effects in that film look better than this. And this was cheaper for $15 million, you know. It was even cheaper than this. They looked in this, you know. But anyway, they fight. They fight. You know, they blow up one. They blow up one creature, robot, whatever, you know, poorly CG, you know. And so Ivan he gets himself into the other one, makes a bigger image of himself, and they transform the Zords, and they use a power sword, which really enough, that's the sword, that's the Shogun Zord, not the Ninja Zord. The Ninja Zord they were in didn't have a power sword. That's the Shogun Zord. You know, that sword was a Shogun Ninja Zord, not the regular Ninja Zord. You know, but still. So they get their butt kicked first, and they get the Falcon Zord. They fly into space. You know, they have an idea to destroy Ivan by throwing him into this comet called Ryan's Comet, you know, which is a laughable part. You know, Aisha hits an emergency button, and he hits it, and it's the Zord knees Ivan ooze in the groin, you know, and they fly away, and he says, "Oh no," and then boom, explodes. And then also the part that I did not care for because they could have left out, you know, because Ivan ooze he tells the hypnotized parents to go leap to their doom, you know, which they said. Leap to their doom, which that was annoying as hell. I could not stand that. All the parents were saying, "Sorry, there was a cut. If you saw a cutscene there, but still." Moving on. The subplot, you know, it said the parents saying "leap to our doom" was annoying as hell. I got annoyed to death by it, you know. And they were gonna do it, and then later because leap to their doom, and they were gonna go jump off a cliff at the construction site. The kids try to hold them back, and the kid named what was the kid's name? Bryan, you know. Somehow he knows how to operate these that train thing on a rail, you know, I forget what it's called, you know. I think it was called a monorail, and he knows how to operate crane, to shoot the water gun, the water or whatever at the hose, Bulk and Skull didn't do anything. All he tells him was turn it on, and Skull's like, Bull's like does that, and that's it, So and when Ivan was destroyed, the parents or the spell of the parents was done like that, and then everyone the Rangers get back to the command center, when they combine their powers, to resurrect, bring back Zordon, and then. And then at the grand celebration, well, I think that's a celebration, there's a party or whatever, And then another good thing I liked about it, when it shows since that's probably the reason why I want to review, because it's 4th of July and it features fireworks, it's probably one of the reasons why I wanted to review it, Fireworks, and while it's playing, you have Van Halen, Dreams playing, which is my favorite song from Van Halen, and I really do love that song, And I thought what I liked it was playing during this, where the fireworks show, and it shows "Thank you, Power Rangers," So, and of course after the credits of the characters, it shows Goldar was a mold. I forget what the guy's name. I forgot already. And then Lord Zed and Rhea return. They both go, "Uh-oh." So yeah, I like the film overall though, but I watch it. I watch it like a couple times, now here and then, because I like watching the show as I would still watch the show more, and I always enjoyed the Power Rangers. Then as for the new film, which is supposed to come out in summer of 2016 though, but it got moved to January 2017, because the crowd is summertime, they wouldn't do well, so they put it in January because they figure, American Sniper did well in January, so they figure maybe that's gonna be a hit, And but I'll get to the new film another time though. But still, for this film though, I do like though. Even though the problems, the parents saying "Leap to the Doom" was very annoying. And one of the biggest problems is the CGI was very piss poor. Cheap looking, I would say. Like I said, this was a $50 million budget film. The effects and the creature effects in Deep Rising, which was a $45 million budget film, that looked much more impressive than this, And I love Deep Rising. That's a freaking underrated film, And even the effects in Godzilla, 1998 will look better, for Godzilla. The look of him, the effects look better, Or even though the effects in those 3 films, Jurassic Park, The Thing, and The Blob, they have better effects, most of them mixture of practical and visuals, well, most of them were practical for The Thing and The Blob, though, but still. Jurassic Park has a very good mix of practical and CG, but still. That's the biggest problem with the CGI. It was very cheap looking, But the characters who play the Power Rangers, they do a good job, Bulk and Skull, they were the guys who played Bulk and Skull. They were not that much, but I still liked them because they were still funny, in the show. And thankfully, they were only in for a little bit because they appear from the beginning and at the end. That's it, But still, it was nice to see them too again, And Paul Freeman, as Ivan News, he does a good job, the makeup and the costume, even the costumes and the new costumes of the suits of the Power Rangers, they're fine, an update from the show, of course. Still using the Tangle Wars of Crow creatures, the suits, like they did from the show, They're fine, as well. And it does have some good practical effects, even with the dinosaur skeleton was good looking, And like I said, I don't know why we have piss poor CGI in this film, when we have a practical animatronic dinosaur skeleton. I don't understand it though, but still, that's better. That was better looking than any of the CG in this film. The dinosaur skeleton was better than any of the CG in this film. I don't know why. For a $50 million budget, even for a $50 million film, the animatronic dinosaur skeleton was good looking, better than any of the cheap looking CGI in this film. I would still pick the suit looking Zords in the shows any day than the CG looking Zords in this film. So anyway, that's about Yeah, I understand that, but so the cast of the characters, they do a good job, for all six of the Rangers, they do a good job. I'm glad I have these two autographs here of Walter Jones and Steve Cardenas. You can check out you can pause to look at you can pause to get a better look at the pictures that I took with them. So I'm glad I got these autographs. Met two of the Rangers. That was good. Once in a lifetime opportunities. Such being a fan of the show as well. I'm glad I met those two. And that's pretty much it. And that's my review for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie. Want to review because for the 4th of July, and by the end of the film, it shows fireworks, Especially, I love that song played by Van Halen. Well, the rest of the score by, once again, I forgot to mention, the score by Graham Lavelle was decent, not the best, though, but decent, And it's not that very long of a film, either. It's only 95 minutes. But anyone who was a fan of the show, probably won't like it. Well, even fans of the show probably won't like it, or do like it. Like I said, this film was completely split even, 50-50, 50% on Rotten Tomatoes and 5.0 on IMDb. This film was evenly split, good or bad, To me, it's good though. It's a campy, fun film that came out during the summer of 1995. It was a box office hit, not the biggest, but modest, 66 million worldwide against a budget 15. It did very well, And like I said, it's a campy, fun film, There's stuff that are campy and fun I can deal with, and sometimes they're very bad looking, but still But this film I pick, I can still say it's better than some of the superhero films of today, like Man of Steel or the Dark Knight trilogy. But those are very I hate those films, But I would even say this film was better than those films, Probably people are gonna get mad at me for that though, but my opinion, it's my opinion. But anyway, that's my review for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie. Thanks for watching. Take care, and once again, happy 4th of July. And also, really quick, I just want to give a shout out to Ram for Life for doing an excellent movie review on Independence Day. That's a film I absolutely do love. Also underrated because people nowadays talk shit about that film. And I just want to give a shout out for him doing an excellent review for Independence Day. Why? Because I like watching his reviews, and he does a good job on a lot of, especially on rants and stuff, So just want to quickly say that, just for the hell of it, Just show how I'm a fan of his videos, But anyway, that's my review for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie. Thanks for watching. Take care and stay tuned on the next movie review. And once again, happy 4th of July. Even Garfield says happy 4th of July as well. Thanks for watching and stay tuned on the next movie review. Later.